The Green City Startup is an initiative of the City of Joburg, which encourages green entrepreneurs to develop ideas in building, energy, water, transport, and waste. This is the Green City Startup Show. On the show this week, we take a look at some of the challenges in Region B. We receive expert advice from Inquisition. We're in Sophiatown for our weekly profile, plus renowned author Adam Robinovitz is on the big interview. Hello and welcome to the Green City Startup. My name is Mokhetwa Masemola. Now, as per usual, today's show will provide some much needed information for all green startups. Make sure you connect with us on social media. We're on Twitter at the GC Startup, and we're also on Facebook, so make sure you give our Facebook page a thumbs up. It's www.facebook.com/The Green City Startup. Time now for our weekly feature. Take a look as one of our Joburg Regional Directors, Robert Suedi, calls on innovative entrepreneurs to help solve the problem of illegal dumping in Region B.
Community Innovation Fund. It's solely for the purpose of looking at the entire city and looking into innovative ideas which can assist to solve service delivery breakdowns by communities. For an example, illegal dumping that is taking place around the city, especially in the region. We have people who are doing illegal dumping. So if we can have a member of the community who can sit down and give an idea and package it to say, this is how I'm putting across that this can be done away with or can be resolved and sustained. A person is going to be invited to pitch it and is going to be supported to register a company and be able to implement his innovative idea. So if a community member comes up and say, I'll be eyes and ears, taking down the details, working with our law enforcement agency, JMPD, inform them to come and prosecute this guy or correct this guy that he must not dump, and be able to come up with a situation of saying, what can we do with the dumping? We have received the application at this stage, and I wish all those who are interested the best to be able to assist us with service delivery breakdown.
What an absolutely interesting piece we just had there. Make sure to log on to our website, www.TheGreenCityStartup.co.za, for more videos that will help green-focused entrepreneurs in their initiatives. And now here's our go-to guy, Brandon, with some helpful hints and tips to help you become a successful entrepreneur.
If your focus is on business-to-business trading, you may find it tough to create content that appeals to your prospective audience. So I found these guidelines by B2B Network on how business-to-business brands should create content. Let's check them out. Firstly, stand out from your competition. Companies that train and empower their sales teams to use third-party content to build relationships and generate leads are the ones who win their customers' hearts and pockets. Companies that bring answers to the table and simplify the research process have the upper hand. The fact is, business-to-business customers are educating themselves long before they reach out to companies. So by employing content curation, your business has a better chance of standing out from your competition. Secondly, amplify your expertise. A good example is to write short reviews that can add value to your customers and prospects. By writing reviews, you position yourself as an expert and you show your willingness to share knowledge. People appreciate that. Next, make your B2B brand more human. With thanks to social media, B2B brands can now engage in two-way conversations. When curating content, you show your followers that you care about their interests and you're not just interested in selling your own ideas. Lastly, stay informed on what's happening in your industry. You may find that you haven't got the time to write original content, so by constantly sharing third-party content, you give your followers valuable insight, you stay informed on what's happening in your industry, and it creates great partnership opportunities. So let's sum that up. Stand out from your competition, amplify your expertise, make your brand human, and finally, stay informed. That's all for hints and tips. You can find more on our social media pages. On Facebook, it's The Green City Startup, and on Twitter, at The GC Startup. Be sure to engage with us. We're looking forward to it. Until next time, keep focused.
One of the best ways to succeed as an entrepreneur is to learn from others. Now let's head on over to Punu, who's talking with fellow entrepreneur trainer Ntsiki exactly about ideation.
Hey, this is Talking with Tutors, and today I'm talking to Ntsiki.
Hey Puna, how are you?
Good, and you, girl?
I'm good, thanks.
So we're talking about concepts of entrepreneurship, and there's a concept, ideation. What is it?
Ideation is really just the combination between idea and create. So it's a creative process of coming up with an idea, really. So like, think of awesome creative stuff and ideas for what you want to create.
Sure. And brainstorming is part of this process, I assume. And what is brainstorming?
Brainstorming is a lot of fun. So literally sitting down with your friends or your business partners or people that can give you good feedback. You grab a sheet of paper, you grab a board, and you just start writing down anything that comes to your mind around your product, your service, what you want to produce, the business you want to create, and you start brainstorming on how you can make it happen.
And I want to when I brainstorm my business idea, I want to make sure that I'm doing it right, so to speak, or that I'm productive, right?
Yeah.
So are there any guidelines that I can stick by?
Well, like literally, it's not a complicated process because we're all creative. I mean, we all have ideas. A lot of the times we have ideas when we're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
So when you go into a brainstorming session with your team, literally write down everything that comes to mind, no matter how silly it is, right? And even write down the smallest of stuff, because when you write it down, it leads to something else. And all of a sudden you think, I can only come up with one stuff. And then at the end of the session, you have a million things that you can actually refer back to. And also think just like be calm about it. There's no pressure. It's a safe space. And don't criticize. If somebody puts something in there that you didn't think about before or that makes everybody else uncomfortable, it's okay. Take it as it is and you'll come back to it later and criticize, but the process just needs to flow.
Sure. I'm a very creative person, so I like this a lot, but not everybody's creative. So are there any methods you can give to that person who's struggling with this a bit?
Yeah, I think creativity is not like difficult. We do this all the time. So when you're walking around, a picture will inspire you, a word or a song will inspire you. So there's 4 different methods you can use, right? There's the picture method, the thought method. It's not a thought method. There's a picture method, there's a word method, and there's putting yourself in someone else's shoes and an abstract thought. So the picture method, you literally just find a picture that might represent your business, what you want your service to look like, your product. It speaks to something about your business and you connect it back to that. A word works the same way, just one word, a number of words, and you can just point them back to different things about your business. Maybe like the personality that you want your business to have. Somebody else's shoes is, if I had to put myself in Puno's shoes and look at the same problem or the same business, would I come up with the same solutions? And I think a lot of times people get like, this is how I need to do this, this is how it's going to work. But when I look at it from your angle, I see a lot of other things that I may have not considered before that. And an abstract thought is really like the most random thing that can come into your mind that at first might not even seem like it has anything to do with your business. And just looking at it from a different angle and seeing if you can bring it back to what it originally was.
Sure.
Then I think that gives you a pretty good indication that you're on the right track.
Oh, definitely. And now, once going through this brainstorming process and we have an idea, what can I do to make sure that my idea is actually a good one?
Right, because we all think our ideas are amazing, but the easiest thing to do is really just test it. Go out there, throw it out at people, and see what people have to say. Ask your people that would use your business, your product, your service, if they like it. Like, is this a great product to you? And they can give you some feedback, and you can take that feedback and work on it. Or you can literally just prototype, which I think we'll get to in other sessions, put something out on the market and see what the feedback is. And from that, you will know if your idea or the problem you're trying to solve and how you want to solve it actually works.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ntsiki.
Thanks, Puna.
Hope you enjoyed that session and I hope you learned a lot. That's all from Talking with Tutors.
Still to come on the Green City Startup Show, we have Adam Rabinovitz on the big interview. We give you another inspirational quote. Plus, we're in Sophia Town for the weekly profile feature. All of that and more is heading your way after the break, so make sure you stay exactly where you are. Welcome back to the Green City Startup Show. It is really good to have you still with us. Remember to keep in touch with us through our social media pages. It's simple, the Green City Startup on Facebook or at TheGC on Twitter. Here is our infographic of the week. Do bear in mind that you can log on to our website, TheGreenCityStartup.co.za, for more information about entrepreneurial matters in and around the city of Johannesburg. But up next, we have Charlotte from Inquisition, who has some very insightful information for all of you entrepreneurs.
Hi there. In this short video, we're going to introduce you to the design process as a way of problem solving. What do we mean by design? Some people hear design and think of graphics and logos, or think of design as simply enhancing a product or service. We believe that good designers create products, services, and experiences that leave a lasting positive impact on the communities that they're trying to serve. These kinds of designers follow the design process and use design thinking. The design process is developed and followed by such international design companies as IDEO and Frog, as well as the Stanford D School, among many others. This process is more a collection of tools, methods, and frameworks than a linear series of steps to follow. There are many versions of the design process out there, but we at Inquisition use this process. By ensuring that they've touched upon each of these phases, designers are able to develop products, services, and experiences that serve genuine human needs or fulfill people's wants. Let's talk through this design process. Establish. We'll take time to find the right teammates, people in our company, community, corporations, and nonprofits, among others. We'll also make sure we clearly define our problem and set achievable goals that will unite our process. Explore. We'll spend some time researching. It's important that we go out into the community and explore what their needs are. We'll synthesize our research and create a guiding how might we question inspired by it. For example, how might we improve transportation for low-income residents? And begin ideating around that question. Express. Once we've brainstormed a large quantity of ideas, we'll begin refining them as a team. Once we have an idea that the whole team feels passionate about, and that we feel will genuinely address our target audience's problem, we can create a prototype, or semi-finalized version of our idea, to test with our audience. Evaluate. Testing our prototype, or our idea made tangible, with our audience will give us important insights. We can find out what they like about it, what issues we should fix, or what things we didn't think of including in our product. Evolve. We continue this user testing feedback cycle once the product is launched, always listening to what our customers are saying and improving the product based on their feedback. For more information on the design process, be sure to visit our website where you can find more resources. Thanks for watching.
In this week's feature, we visit the Trevor Huddleston Center in Sophiatown to chat with the architect Thomas Chapman about what it means to him to be involved in such a historically relevant project.
My name's Thomas Chapman. I'm the principal of Local Studio. We're an architecture and urban design firm in Joburg. I grew up in the West Rand, and Sophiatown has always been an interest of mine. And I ended up doing my master's architecture thesis on the kind of urban linking with the Trevor Huddleston Memorial Centre. A very interesting site. It's one of the only remaining houses or buildings from the old Sophiatown. It's the former house of A.B. Kluma, who's an ANC president. And so these two stands belong to the city. Our client, the Trevor Harris Memorial Centre, bought a very small, nondescript Triumph house, hadn't been changed at all. And then in our scheme, we really tried to work to keep it, but really it was so badly built that we couldn't make it work. So we started from scratch, but we didn't seek to do something extremely modern. We looked at some of the old Sophiatown urban typologies, which really worked. One of them was the corner shop, so this idea of a very welcoming public interface. One of them was the stoep, very important semi-private, semi-public space in old Sophiatown. And then the last typology is the yard, translating space between the old house and the modern building. The reason we're here today, the launch of the memorial screen that's built out of layers of reinforcing mesh. I think the starting points were quite good basic urban principles. How we rendered it, how we built it in the end was just using materials that we were quite comfortable with as a practice, which is a combination of lightweight and structural steel, which traditionally is not a kind of material that should stand on its own, but here we've kind of repurposed it, I think, quite effectively.
To see more clips just like that one, make sure to visit our website. As you should know by now, it's www.TheGreenCityStartup.co.za. For now, though, Puno is standing by with renowned author and entrepreneur Adam Rubinovitz, who's on The Big Interview.
Joining me in studio, we have an entrepreneur who's also a creative and an author. He'll be sharing with us his experiences and knowledge about writing and the entrepreneurial world. We have Adam Rubinovitz. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
Adam, please tell us about your book and what it's about.
Well, the book is called How to Create, Manage, Fix and Grow Your Small Business. And it contains a lot of tips and some useful material for small businesses who are starting out, small businesses who have been around for a while and need some extra help in terms of growing or organizing themselves so they don't have periods of crisis and chaos, and reasonably established business who want to consolidate themselves for the next stage of growth.
And out of all the lessons that you've learned, which is the one that stands out the most for you?
I think probably the most effective thing that I've learned and put into practice has been the discipline of identifying and implementing solid systems in my business. It's been the one that's allowed the business to grow and double over time. So if I could give one piece of advice to any entrepreneur out there, understand the systems that you have in your business, make them solid, make them reliable, and work on your business rather than being an employee in your business.
And reading up on you, we saw that you've done your MBA actually. Now, what influence has that had on your writing?
Apart from the fact that I did the entire MBA by accident, I learned a lot of information in that MBA that was really critical to shaping and growing my business. Totally different mindset of the approach that I used in my business as well. But all of those gems of knowledge, the relevant ones to small business, now come through in the book. So if you can ask in a single question, was it helpful? Definitely. Is it necessary? It's not for everybody. But some of those really useful tools you'll find in the book.
And now when you're writing your book or writing other books, living your daily life, doing the decisions that you do you make decisions so that you can get a good chapter out of it?
That's not the way the writing process works, unfortunately. What I find is that a problem will spur a knowledge article. So something that I have experienced in the real world or in business or in life that has been a crisis or a learning journey, I'll then put that into the book or create a chapter out of it. So it's more the experiences that may add value that turn into chapters in the book.
Sure. And what's your practical writing process when you're sitting in your office or sitting at home writing?
There's a lot of different ones. So it started off with a laptop and being confined to a desk, but that's not really creative. Then it ended up being wherever I was, I'd have a smart pen and a piece of paper, and I'd just kind of write wherever I was. I find that the writing process is variable and it needs to be fluctuate. It can't be the same. So I won't always, for example, write at my dining room table. Sometimes I write in the evening, sometimes I write in the morning. But what I do find is that you always have to write if you want to be a writer. You can't think, well, I've got nothing on my mind today, so I can't say anything. Often writing the first words leads to an idea which generates or opens the floodgates for something else to happen. Also, you need to realize that your writing is a bundle of pages in a book that nobody's read yet. And if you write rubbish in the middle, you can always rip them out and replace them. So you don't have to write the entire thing beginning to end as the final edited version in one sitting. Writing is a process. You write the first draft to get it on paper, and then you improve.
Sure. And as a writer, what's been your biggest challenge?
One of my biggest challenges as a writer is marketing and promoting myself as an author. It's really difficult to get people to buy your book, because if you're faced with a choice of a million titles, which one are you going to choose? You'll take the ones your friends last recommended, you'll take the most popular, you'll buy the one whose name you trust, or a book from somebody you read the last time. So getting your name out there as an author is a really, really difficult task. And I found that trying to break through that is probably about the most difficult thing that I've ever had to tackle.
Yeah. And now young authors out there who want to sort of market themselves, become entrepreneurs with their writing, where do they go to get funding? Because that's a huge thing.
I can't answer that question. I've had no funding for any of my books. In fact, I've probably spent more money on my books than I've made. But you write because you want to. Write from the heart first, not with the ideas of the dollar signs in your mind. Write because you've got something to say, not because you think you want to be an author. And write for yourself. Don't change your writing because you think that other people may or may not like it. If you start changing your writing, it starts becoming not genuine. And recently I found that my writing has started reflecting my own character, and those articles have become the most popular. So if some words of advice to people who are writing: firstly, decide why it is you want to write. If you want to be a great author, start now. Don't let anybody put you off. Never, ever, ever give up. Write and write and write, and don't stop until you get where you want to be.
And how important is social media now as an author of books? Now there's a digital age. How does that work?
Well, social media will help you get your message or your platform across, perhaps merely just to identify yourself as an author to your target audience. But don't forget that you really are communicating in a sea full of communication where you are a tiny speck in a global windstorm. So in order to get yourself known, pick a particular niche audience to which you can relate. Relevance is the thing that connects people, not information. Social media, the lifespan of a tweet or a social media blast is milliseconds. It's going to start and it's going to be over very soon. So unless you're a Kanye West or unless you're a Beyonce, you're not going to get millions of followers overnight. Create relevance first. In that social media storm, you have to find something people want to connect with.
And can we expect another book from you anytime soon?
You can expect 2. So I've written 3 non-fiction books. I'm busy working on the 4th, and I'm finalizing the non-fiction book, which is how to create, manage, fix and grow your small business.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Adam. I hope all the entrepreneurs and all the writers out there learned a lot from you. I definitely did.
Thanks, it's been a pleasure.
Sure. Well, that's all from me and from Adam right here on The Big Interview.
Thank you so much to Puno and Adam for a very insightful conversation. Next week on The Green City Startup, the competition progresses with more profiles, tips and hints from our go-to guy, Brandon, and of course, the big interview, man. Make sure you stay with us through all of our social media pages that are on your screen right now. But that's all we have for you this week. Signed, sealed, delivered. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.